welcome to another edition of the One Team We Agree On. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Kyle. How are you?
I'm doing well, and we didn't have to take like 50 takes of this.
No, that is a good thing.
Yes.
But you know what's not a good thing?
What? Not winning at home?
Yeah. What is that now? Like 6, 7? It's 6 in a row or something, but we don't
Yeah.
get a point.
We got uncled too.
Are you going to go off with that? Are you going to start off with we got uncle?
I mean, we did. It's not the only thing, but it didn't help.
Well, that is Jillian's hot take for the day.
Oh, I've got a few. I could get this really spicy, but
I mean, can we? Or will we? Well,
you'll have to listen and find out.
I guess so. But hey, anyway, we appreciate you listening. So on today's show, we're going to talk about Alumni Day on Saturday, which was actually outside the game. A fun time.
We had a great time.
Yeah, we had a great time. As
result.
always, we have a great time. You were in the river and I was up in the press box. And then yesterday, you and I both got to go up in press box together.
Yep.
And shout out to Nico.
Yes.
Shout out to Nico, PA coordinator ahead of Union 2 and I guess the Academy, from what my understanding is, talking to him.
And if you ever watch the press conferences, and Nico's the one that calls on us on Zoom usually.
So Nico, if you're listening, shout out to you for being so accommodating this weekend to both of us, and we really appreciate it. And he's doing great work. I know Jose and Todd have mentioned him as well. I mean, it is something that the union do really well.
Yeah, Nico rocks.
He does.
So shout out.
And then so we're gonna cover Union 2, and then also some thoughts of the union, both first and second team heading into break. We have some pictures, some personal memorabilia.
We do.
Yes, for you, like Union heritage. And some people are probably gonna be really triggered, even more triggered than they are
but
right
I have
now.
Personal connection.
Yes. So anyway, before we get started, what we're in today?
So I went with an oldie but a goodie. I mean, 2021 playoff snake shirt. I always love this. I love this snake design. I want to get a tattoo of this. I have 0 tattoos, but I really love the snake around the lightning bolt design.
Is that a Vegas tattoo?
Well, we are going to Vegas soon.
So and saying, because I'll get that with you.
Ooh.
Comment in the comments, should we get matching tattoos?
I don't know if I'd do it in Vegas, but you know, because if I'm going to do something like this, I'd probably go somewhere that we know so many people with tattoos that are more local, and they could probably recommend fantastic artists.
We're in the JSP as always. I love this shirt.
It's a good shirt, and also I'm wearing the one of the headbands that they gave out as a giveaway. By the way, it's the one with the camo. I know the lighting's sometimes really bright in here, but it's like the camo one. You know, it's like the away jersey, tan one.
So before we get started, hon, where can people find us?
You can find us on social media. We are on Twitter, or X, if you will. I'm stubborn. I still call it Twitter. We are at TOTWAG, and we are also on Facebook and Instagram at The One Team We Agree On. We are on YouTube, The One Team We Agree On. We have our website, theoneteamweagreeon.com. And you can find us on all your podcasting platforms and Spotify, Apple, etc.
Yep.
Find me on TikTok. I'm probably gonna put something on there soon. Okay, so yes, it's just Jillian Albany on there. Jillian-Albany. Yeah.
So a couple things. First, we're not going to cover Toronto match today. We covered that on Todd Lewis of the Free Kicks.
Yes.
300.
So go listen to that.
And also listen to episode 301 with him and Jose, because that was a really honest and real conversation. I've really enjoyed that conversation today. So
yeah, it was great.
We're gonna give you guys both a shout out. Like, that was great. So let's talk about Saturday.
Yes.
CF Montreal comes to town. Now we're gonna be going there at the end of the month.
Yes.
But so first thing we heard on Friday. Suspensions, players injured. I mean,
a lot of them for
a lot of them, a lot of key pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got home that night, I said, first thing out the door, if the Union don't get 3 points,
that's dropped points big time.
That is drop points big time. And
We all know
what happened? So we're gonna discuss this a little bit more, but
we didn't lose at home, but that was one of those draws that felt like a loss.
and again, it's another one of those draws at home or a loss that it's just felt like a loss all year. But you were on the press conference, and this game felt like a Marcus Anderson game. Julian's out with injury.
Yep.
Jim goes and says Marcus is out.
Yep.
And then you ask the question, what did Marcus bring to the table? How's he developed? And would you share his thoughts?
Yeah, so Jim basically said that Marcus was doing well. He took obviously he had taken a knock, so he was gonna be out, but Marcus, he's been doing well at Union 2 level, but of course playing with the first team is a whole lot different. It's higher level, but definitely that there's gonna be opportunities down the road, obviously, with players being out.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, my whole thought is, and I was looking up, he has a little injury history.
I know someone was saying he's made of glass, a friend of ours. Though I hope it's not the case, but
I mean,
starting to wonder.
You're starting to wonder. That is a honest question, and that's an honest concern. I mean, I'm not even gonna deny that. I mean, he was right. Like, you look at the injury, it's kind of the same injury in a way, but I don't know. We'll see how
it's a shame because he played really well
in Union 2
when they were away at Red Bull. He has a brace. I mean, it's Red Bull too, but still, he had a really nice header and just he brings a good energy. I think we could have used that.
No.
So, yeah.
I mean, so let's go on to Alumni Day.
Yes.
Thoughts on the tailgate first and foremost.
All right, we got to the Sons of Ben tailgate about like 3:20, and one thing to note, Union Yards actually opened at, I believe, 3. It was kind of dead early on there. I know they were opening it earlier.
30, and it was still kind of dead.
Yeah.
Around 4 o'clock it picked up.
It picked up. Everything picked up. So, of course, it's because they were doing the alumni panels, or the first one was at 5, but they wanted to get things open earlier. So, tailgate though at Sons of Ben was great. Real good crowd on hand.
I mean, they had subs, they had pizza, and then they had
that pizza hit the spot. That was really good. They need to do that more.
And shout out to John and Rachel. Like, we were talking about some of our apparel.
Yeah.
And like I told you, like, they were giving us a couple designers, local and national, that could help it. So stay tuned. We might have some design merch coming.
Yeah. We saw BR. Shout out BR. The cat.
Friend of the show.
Yes.
So
yes. I think we need to have an episode with cats.
I have no comment on that.
Everybody, let's just like do a Zoom and everyone just come on with your cats like we did during the pandemic. We just
what
like everyone show your pets. Everyone show your cats.
So Union happy hour with cats?
Yeah.
Or like, pets or dogs
like with
or
my
ferrets.
Students. Yeah, like when I had to Zoom with my students, we're like, all right, everyone, let's see your pets.
In dupe gear.
In dupe gear. We should do a contest.
But that's like the
I've got ideas.
Okay.
The wheels are turning. Yes.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna say anything more. Anywho, so let's so overall, I thought the tailgate was really nice. It was a little hot. It was probably the hottest.
It was. That was fine. But I'll tell you what, it was. Well, it wasn't super hot, but it was beautiful out.
It was.
If you were out in the sun, it was starting to get a little hot, but the humidity was low. I think it was like 30% humidity. It was wonderful. We were not getting rained on for once. It was great. And honestly, I woke up Saturday morning just feeling great. Like, hey, it's game day. It's beautiful out. I've just got these good vibes. I think we're going to have a good game. And then the tailgate was fun. And of course, we know what the result was. But I mean, aside from the result, though, I had a great day, I thought. It was definitely fun.
It was. So let's share some pictures from Alumni Day.
Yeah. So over at Union Yards, Dave Leno had on a bunch of the alumni, and so we had him talking with each of them. We had Brian Carroll there and Sebastian Latou. We had Gabe Farfan. We had Zach Pfeffer. So we had them talking. There was 2 different alumni panels because then he did one later with
He did
with
Shannon Williams. He did Elsinio. He did Michael Hood and
Fred.
Fred. Oh my gosh. How could I forget?
Yeah.
Hulky's gonna be in my comments right now. Hulky Fred.
Yeah. So, but no, this was great. And so it was nice to hear all their thoughts and their memories. So we caught both of those. I have a lot of video on my personal Instagram. It's silly_Jilly, by the way. So if you want to check it out, I have it on there, but I did put it live at the time. But yeah, it was great hearing Dave talk with them.
And then we got
there's me with Dave Leno. Dave, of course, is the best. And yeah, so shout out Dave, best voice in MLS. And then we have
so you went in the shop
after
me and Todd went up at the press box.
Yeah, so I had seen that they had posted they were selling official Union merch, Riquinho shirts. So, you know, it's really cute. I saw people, by the time I got in the Union store, it had been almost sold out, and there were people looking through it, and there were only a few left. I saw people wearing them already in the stadium, and this one lady is looking at them. She's like, "Oh, it's out of my size." I said, "By the way, if you go on MLS Bootleg, you can get a really good Riquinho shirt too." And
MLS Bootleg.
Yeah. So, oh, you know, and I got that shirt. I should have worn that. I'll save it for another day.
You'll save it for another.
Yeah, but I did get the Riquinho shirt. So yeah, I was like, you can get it on MLS Bootleg, and she's like, I heard about that, and I don't know, is it? Because I'm like, I've gotten a bunch of their stuff. It's a good site. I recommend it. So, and I'm like, it'll be cheaper too, probably.
And I know a few friends that should listen to this. So, hey, clip this comment, send to MLS Bootleg, and let them know that we're rocking and supporting his wear. So.
I've worn many of their shirts on this pod.
So,
yes.
Anyway, let's talk about some other merchandise we got.
Yeah. So, first of all, when we went in the stadium, they were giving out these Legends cards. And so you got 4 cards in it. And so you have Fang, Sebastian Latou, Elsinio, and Brendan Aronson. So those are fun. So they gave those out. Okay. We also met up with Jenny Fick.
Yeah.
And she gave us a Andrew Wenger shirt. This is what we were saying where some people might be triggered. So we have a game-worn jersey signed by Andrew Wenger. Okay, here's the back. Okay, so we had talked about that. She had reached out to us and asked if we were interested in that, and I was like, yeah, absolutely. So if you haven't listened to our earlier episodes, I think we talked about probably one of the very first ones. Andrew Wenger, I gave him swim lessons because of course he's from Lancaster County. I gave him and his siblings swim lessons when he was a little kid. Then he was on swim team that I coached. He swam with my brother. He's the same age as my brother. He swam with him on relays and everything back in the day. And I babysat those kids as well. I babysat Andrew and his siblings a few times. So, and his mom actually was my dad's assistant coach on that summer league team too. So basically, Andrew, when he went pro, I was following the paper how he was doing, and when I saw he got signed to Union, I was like, oh, okay, because I was kind of just not really into soccer that much at that point, but I was following how I saw how he was doing. It's like, oh, I'm gonna start following how the Union are doing because here's a local connection now. So yeah, that's kind of how I started being interested in the Union, and so that's really cool though to get that. I think, yeah, say which. Unfortunately, he's of course remembered for one thing.
And I'm going to say this to anybody listening. Go back and watch the game and comment. I mean, he didn't play bad. He didn't play bad except for that play.
Yeah.
But the Union were great. He actually had a decent year. And I really would love to hear somebody comment say that he was the worst player. Like, because some people say he was the worst player of all time. I'm like, really? He wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Well, I would love to get Andrew on here and actually talk to him about things.
And that's my thing. If
So-
anybody knows Andrew, like, get him on here because
Yeah, 'cause I haven't talked to him in a really long time. It's been probably 20 years.
So, and then one other thing came in. The
Yes.
Topps Raquinho card came in.
Yes. Yes, the Topps Raquinho card. It looks awesome.
Would you like to get this signed by Raquinho? Everybody's like, oh my gosh. It's a
Yeah.
raccoon. But that's a really kind of weird, but I mean,
That's fun.
it's fun.
It says, and by the way, it says so it has 5/15/2024, four-legged friend takes in night match in Philly.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So
Let's
yeah,
not,
there we
let's
go.
not talk about that. Anyway, so let's get into the match.
Yes. All right. Well,
Yeah, let's talk about that.
The-
Lineup comes out, we're like, ooh,
okay.
3 in the back. And 49 seconds in.
Yeah. So 49 seconds in, was it? Yeah. And
It was.
And we get scored on, and everyone's like, what? Here we go.
And
I think at that point I just posted the Jim Curtin meme of not good.
no. And in the press box, Todd, Skylar, and all of us looked at each other, and there may have been an explicit thrown, just been like, what the
Yeah.
beep?
We're not gonna have to make deposits in the swear jar today.
No, we're not. Let's just say this. Like, we were all like, well, you got caught up too high once again with those players. Boom. Now, should Zemla saved that? Maybe. But the problem was the defense. I don't know.
They got cooked on that.
They did. And, it like, do we really need to keep having these conversations?
I'm tired of having these conversations. How many times have we gotten scored on early? And now it's like you have to dig out of that hole. And it takes the wind out of the sails with the crowd. Now, this time, to our fans' credit, well, first of all, I thought the crowd was fantastic. It was apparently the stadium had sold out. And you had people in the seats early on. Okay. And people were loud. This was good. Then when we got scored on, everyone's like, yeah, throw some expletives out there. And
do we want to go into this?
Okay, I'm doing this.
Okay. Because I have a question. Pause.
Okay.
There are people that I feel, and there was a discussion in the press box. When you hear, hey, Union, wake the beep up.
Yeah.
After that goal, 49 seconds in the match. There's a whole game. We saw him come back multiple times this year.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that.
It's like, do you understand there's also 89 minutes left in this game?
Right.
Okay, first of all, that. Also, I will say this. There was less of people being dumbfounded and silent or whatever have you. And people actually, they started trying to get the chants going louder, like we have said they need to do more of.
Right.
But
it's not all of us, it's other people too.
But I will say, there were some parts of the stadium that, yes, they started doing the hey, Union, wake the F up. And those of us are like those around me in 136 and all of us, we were not doing that chant. No, we just started doing whatever other chant we were having go at the time and just trying to get the team back into it, because that's what you need to do. I'm sorry.
As supporters, you need to do that.
Now, when we're down like 3-0 to Seattle or something.
Yeah, well,
yeah, okay, it's warranted. It's warranted.
I mean,
yes.
I get it.
Okay, but that early in the game, no. Okay, these things happen. Okay, they messed up, but there's a lot of time to get after it again. Okay. So it just is frustrating. And so, yeah, and I know we're not the only ones that feel like that.
There are a lot of people that have reached out to us personally that have said, yeah, they feel like that.
Yeah.
We're going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Support everybody.
So eventually, though, we do get the Gazdag PK.
And let's talk about that because, for there, Ty Sebastian, the two with 50 all-time MLS goals. That's a really good accomplishment.
Yeah.
But before that, let's go back to
Yes.
the end of the first half. So Union
Yes.
play a very.
They kind of.
It was like
the first half just kind of.
And then the red
boring.
card happens, and even still, like in the press box, we're like, they're really gonna lose this one.
So with the red card.
Yeah.
Okay. So at this, I heard less of the, oh no, we're effed here, because there are people around me in 136 who like to think, oh, we're worse when we're up a man. However, the stats will tell you, and Kyle, you're the stat man, you and Todd, between you, that actually we have more winning record. We have more of a winning record when we're up a man. However,
this is 2021. Now I need to go back.
Yeah, we haven't gone back as far.
Yeah.
However, so, but at this point, we're all like, yes, we need help, because look what we did against the Revs. Okay. So there's that. And so, okay, we're up a man. We're like, okay, all right. And yeah, we reformulate the lineup then after the half. Makes sense. You don't need to have the three in the back when we're up a man. And yeah, we get the Gazdag PK, which I'm sorry, I don't like to do the "you're not going to save it" chant, because I just feel like it's kind of a jinx, but I don't say it. But anyway, I'm holding breath, because since I figured, okay, Danny should be good, because it's not him trying to do a second PK and not adjusting like the Orlando match, but Danny buries it. It's all good. All right, we're level. And then, oh my goodness, Mikel Ua, he gets that great striker's goal. Okay, that was just beautiful. It was set up beautifully. And that was when we're up 2-1 and we're going nuts. First of all, when Danny scored the PK, we're going nuts in our section. I think I said to Jane next, I'm like, oh my gosh, we finally scored a goal at home. We finally scored a goal. And oh my goodness. And then when we got 2-1, it was the most joy I felt in a Union game for a while, like being in person. So honestly, I mean, obviously the Revs game was exciting, but we were at home watching that. So
I need to say something about this. So when it happened, people around us were like, "Oh my gosh, that's a striker's strike," and it was. That's the striker's finish. But I'm like sitting there going, "All right."
Oh, and I told you, Kyle, before the game, I was like, it was scoring tonight.
Yeah, what did I say?
What did you say?
I said, let's just pause.
Yeah, and then I texted you. I'm like, told you.
You did.
I did.
And look,
I just had the feeling. Now, that was just class. It was class. Okay. And that's what we need, though. Like, that's now, yeah, there's times where
that ball, though, that's what we need. So let me go on rant.
Yes.
We need somebody in this transfer window coming up. Now, I know Todd and Jose on their podcast said, Kyle said, Luciano Cussa.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a Luciano. Am I saying if we got like a creator like that, somebody could beat 1v1, that who was going to score 20 goals? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is we're going to create more chances like that and actually put the ball in the box. Now,
that goal is what we need.
Now, maybe in the moment, I did say that. So, I mean, if you want to clip that, anybody got a clip of that comment? Maybe I did say that, but at the end of the day, like, yeah, that's what the Union need right now.
Mm-hmm.
They also maybe need a defender, but
Yeah, so let's talk about that.
we got a lot of holes. But
So now, and then of course, this joy lasted about 5 minutes. And then we get to a very controversial thing. Now I'm in 136 at this point. I'm in the river end. So I see this whole thing go down pretty close. And stupid red card. We got uncled. Okay. Before the game even started, we're like, oh boy, we're gonna get uncled tonight. And we did.
Though?
We did, because that should not have been a red card.
But
Should
Jim
not.
said anytime you leave
Now,
your feet, it's up for the discretion. It
right.
really is.
Okay, here's my problem.
Okay, what's your problem?
My problem is that Ted Uncle, he called it, he was pulling the yellow card, and then without going to the computer, without going to the monitor and doing the whole VAR thing, doing all that, just changes it to a red without any help from VAR.
Well, he saw the laceration apparently.
Well, that's bull crap. Okay.
I mean, you said that.
Yeah. I'm keeping it PG-13. Okay. Bull crap. All right.
So from up on our end, we're like, no, that's not yellow.
Now I also saw, yeah. I mean,
well, it's yellow, but
it is.
We were like, it's not red. And then there's Skylar sitting there going, that's not a red.
And I trust what Skylar says. Skylar knows his roughing.
Yes, he does.
But
I mean, 17 years.
From my vantage point too, I could see, yeah, I mean, he was
injured. Comments like in your area, because there's a lot of smart people that understand soccer much more than we do.
People are like that. They're like, what the heck? That's not a red. That's not a red. And so, and then of course there's some people around just like, at first they're like, oh, come on. And then like, okay, yeah, that's bad. And because we could see, he's in a lot of pain, and the way his teammates were reacting, like legit, we're like, okay, we get it.
Tragic. Like, you don't want to see somebody get injured.
No.
That aside.
But I don't think I don't think it should have been a red. And I hope this gets overturned.
I hope the Union appeal it.
Okay. Because that also so that means Jack misses the Miami game. We already are missing Damian Lowe for that game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have Glessness and I guess McCanya. And at this point, of course, in the game, and there's so many people, oh, well, we should have Brandon Craig, we're going to have. No, you know what? You know what I wish we had? Who I wish we had? I wish we had Stu. But anyway.
I just wish we had a center back come in off the bench.
Yeah, so here's the problem. We started 3 in the back, and then at the half, they took off Glessness because it makes sense for what was happening in the game. It made sense. You had McCanya on the bench, okay? But then when Jack gets the red and he has to go out, now suddenly you have 1 center back. So then Jose Martinez at that point is kind of playing center back until they can get Nate Harriel on.
Yeah.
But of course, the Union concede the tying goal, and watching that where I am in 136, that was painful to watch. That was painful because you see that Oliver deflects it and then it bounces off the post and then it goes in. By a guy that hasn't scored since 2021.
Say Andre would make that. Yes, a healthy Andre would.
Andre probably would.
Andre probably would have had a clean sheet, because even though on the first goal, we're both, me and Tyler and a couple of people were like, But again, like, Semla is a rookie last year. Yeah. Now getting called up and now starting in the MLS. Like,
yeah. So
like, this is like a fish out of water.
It's just the team got all caught off guard on the beginning of that. You know what it was like? It was like, remember in Leagues Cup against Monterey when wasn't it Choo Choo went down and like bam, scored.
Yeah.
Like in like 20 seconds into the game or something. It was just like, oh, all of a sudden, bam, it's in. So just caught off guard. It's just one of those things. But that second goal, that just was like a dagger. And we're like, oh gosh. And so Then, of course, the "Hey, Union, we won 3 points" chant started.
Well, yeah, the Union won 3 points, so everybody chanting that.
And meanwhile, there's people around me. Okay, so some of the people around me in 136 were like, at this point, I am perfectly happy with a draw.
Yeah.
So yeah, Union draw 2-2 at home. And after the game, the press conference, they had Danny McKell, and they basically said a lot of the same things we've been hearing. The team will stick together, et cetera, et cetera. But my whole thing was Jim. Jim just looked, as a coach, having been there after a meet.
Just defeated.
He was, and he was exhausted. He was defeated. He's, you kind of pause and you feel for the guy, but also I'm kind of like, I don't know, is there confidence with Jim? I think the team's going to stay together. We know that. Jim's a great man coach. He's going to keep him motivated and keep him together. But you also got to wonder, like, whew, this is tough. I mean, he said, like, in a Ray of his opening statement, like, this has been probably one of the worst winless streaks he's ever been a part of.
Right. So they've just got to just stick together, pull through this, and they have a tough test ahead for sure. But when their backs are up against the wall, going against Portland, for instance, they responded. They pulled out a big surprise win. So you never know what can happen, but they just need to stick together, and the culture of the team is going to need to play a big part. They need to have a really positive culture.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. You hope that you got Miami, then you got Cincinnati on the road, then you're back against Charlotte, and then you're in Montreal on the road. And that's a nice, very challenging, 4-game win streak. I mean, a lot of questions are going to be answered coming up. And for some of you probably saying, well, there's already been a lot of questions. I get that. We get that. But, it's the old saying, when in hell, just keep going forward.
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's move on. Talk about Union 2. So, for the first time, you and I were in the press box together.
We were. That was pretty cool.
And big news, Cavan Sullivan started.
Yeah, his first start for MLS Next Pro.
It was, and it was cool to see that. And he played some good minutes. I thought first and foremost that they were going up against one of the MLS Next Pro champions from, I think, 2 years ago in Columbus, Crew 2. I think they won the inaugural year.
Okay.
Somebody comment if I got that wrong. But anyway, a good academy. Their former head coach is now the Montreal head coach. And I thought overall Union came out, got that 2-0 lead.
They had that early pressure.
They did.
They had like 3 corner kicks in the first 2 minutes, like 2 in the first minute. So they were pressing. They were on the attack there.
They were. And, I thought that CJ Olney played a great game. Obviously, 1 goal, 2 assists. Been really impressed with him.
Yeah. And very deserving call up to the U19.
Yeah. And so at the time of recording this, he gets called up, him and David Vasquez. I think they're both very deserving. And so I thought that was good. I thought Sal Olivas was excellent. I think that first goal where he makes that run in the box and just hits it around a nail on the head. Great goal. You're up 1-0. And then, I thought around the 20th minute, Cavan showed what he can do.
Yeah.
But he also showed what he couldn't, how there's a couple plays where he tried to do something and lose control of the ball, or there'd be a pass and it'd be a little too hot for him, and he'd regroup really well. And you see the potential is why Manchester City's making that run on him.
But again, he's 14, so he's still learning. He's still got a lot to learn, but he's definitely showing a lot of potential and a lot of great skills for someone his age.
And the funny part is, it's like how should I say this? Some people are saying he's like the youngest soccer player to make a professional debut. Now I get that context matters,
Yeah.
but MLS Next Pro is not the top league.
Yeah.
If he now makes a appearance in MLS,
Yeah.
and because I saw somebody quoting like the youngest players to make appearance, yada yada yada. All right, great. But in the press release in the top league, I'm taking that comment in the press release as he still needs to debut in MLS.
Yeah.
Not in X Pro. But that's beyond the point. Um, you know, and then Oliva says that banger in the 18th.
That one was great, just the way that curled in.
Oh man, you and I both looked at each other like, wow.
Yes.
And then, again, Kevin had that nice pass to Eddie Davis as well that just missed. And
Right.
and again, and we'll go through some of the things, but
Yeah, Columbus did get a goal in there, but for the most part, Union 2 were dominating.
yeah, because right after that, CJ only scores.
CJ's goal was great. That little spin move he had.
Yeah.
That was great.
So, and then the second half, Kevin gets subbed off. We got to see a couple other young guys like Jameer Johnson and oh my gosh, that guy, the other kid that was 15. His name escapes me. Oh my gosh.
Well, that was the first time in for what? Anis Saidi?
Yes, that's who I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. So they get in, so they're getting some of these young academy kids in.
Yeah.
And they look
There are a lot
good.
of academy kids that got in.
And
at
they
the end.
look
Yeah.
really good. Like they
Yeah.
look comfortable. So, you two got a really good thing going right now. And
Yeah, they're exciting.
They are. And for everybody gloom and doom on the Union first team right now, I get that. But go watch Union 2.
It's refreshing and it's exciting, and they're at the top of the table.
They are. And I thought the Bridge Brigade did a nice job again.
There was a nice crowd, and there were a lot of youth teams there because there was games going on at the complex there. So a lot of youth teams, they were cheering, and so they bring a fun energy. And then between that and Bridge Brigade, thought the crowd sounded really good.
They did. And so we actually went into the press box after the game. And again, we said at the beginning of this podcast, we'll say it again, shout out to Nico. Nico comes up to us and he's like, so who you want to talk to?
So we got some good interviews after the game. So we talked to Coach Marlon LeBlanc, we talked to Sal Levis and Owethu Makanya.
Yes.
Who we could see with the first team actually make a debut soon because of the events that have transpired, and with players missing and everything. So
anyway, let's go in there. We're going to check these. So here is head coach Marlon Blanc talking about,
today, just your thoughts on his performance.
Just Cavan's game.
Super excited. Some really good moments, some moments I know he wants to have back. But this is all part of the process. We gave him about a half an hour at Red Bull last week. We gave him almost 60 minutes this week, and the goal is to continue to build him up. I think for me, it's most important that he's getting out there and he's getting those pictures and he's learning. Again, I almost become a little bit repetitive when I say my job's not to win, my job is to develop. And those are 60 really good development minutes for him. And I'm pretty sure that, we've got a lot that we can build off of from that performance.
Right. And so, thoughts, I mean, he said it right there, Cavan did some good things, but there's some things he, would like back.
Yeah, he still likes to learn.
He does. And as much as I think you can see in his facial expressions there, he's very much like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah.
But he's keeping it even keel. And that's the thing of the coach. And that's why I love Marlon. He understands that. So
right.
And then we talked to Sal Levis about his race and what it meant.
Well, yeah, obviously feels fantastic. But all credit to the team. Couldn't have done it without him. We put the hard work in all week. So I'm very proud of the result for this week, and we're going to be ready for this Thursday against Cincinnati. So yeah, it feels fantastic.
So, Sal, again, really excited, 4 goals. 4 goals
On the
this year.
season.
Yeah. On the season, him and Eddie are doing great things. And we
Yeah.
don't have this in there, but I did ask him afterwards about the pairing of those two. And he even said something right, like in the beginning, they weren't on the same page, but we saw a couple plays on Sunday that they were linking up really well, communicating, and
Yeah.
he's really optimistic. And I'll tell you what, now it was only Kanye and him, but I thought Sal did a really good job with his interview.
I thought so too. I thought he was well spoken because remember, we're talking to teenagers here.
Right. And he was like so excited. He was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm getting interviewed." But then at the end, he's like, gave us all a pound. We're like, okay.
Yeah. So, but no,
shout out to Sal. This is somebody I'd like to get on the podcast.
I think so
kind of
too.
now want
Yeah.
to get him on the podcast. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and excited to see what he continues to do during the season.
I know, right? And then,
Look, I think
so then we talked to Marlon a little bit more. And this was on, team starting out about culture. So
what people see on the field is, an end product of a lot of hard work between Monday and Saturday. And the international break obviously changed our team quite a bit, right? But I think what we really do work hard on is just the culture within the locker room. The guys are united on that front. And I think we give opportunities for our 17s to come in and train 2 or 3 times a week sometimes if it works out with the match week. And this was a week where we were able to do it, and we really needed to do it because the first team playing last night and guys heading out and us playing tonight and missing some players, it was we needed to rely on that depth. And I think our strength is our unity. Our strength is our culture. It's not always pretty, but the guys fight for each other, and that's most important.
So yeah, I mean, just talking about the character of the team.
Yeah, I think they're having so much fun and really on board with each other.
They really are. And I just think, again, he's really bought into what, this team has to bring in. And he gave the correct coaching answer. Like, I'm sitting there smiling the whole time. But like, as a coach, I appreciate this.
Yeah, and you know what, the way these young men are playing, it reminds me a bit of the Phillies, how they have such a great team culture at the time right now.
Mm-hmm.
They got the daycare, all of that going on, and they're just having fun. And
do we really care about the daycare?
I love the daycare. Come on, you gotta love Bryson Stott and Brandon Marsh and
Bryson Stott, but
oh, you gotta love them.
Daycare. Come on, no.
Yeah. Anyway, but it just
jealously, I am very wishing the Giants had that right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, then Sal, we asked Sal the same question.
Yeah.
And I always like to get the players'
right
thoughts on this too. So here's what Sal had to say on the team culture.
We have a very strong mindset, and our philosophy is to defend first, and obviously we train to win. And it's a young group, but I feel like this group has a lot of talent, has good confidence. So I think it's just like a winning mentality that we have, and that nobody really has.
So again, very much echoing what Marlon, and that just shows me that the players and the coaches, they're on the same page.
Right.
That's a winning combination.
Yeah.
So again, I thought Sal held his own. So
yeah.
So then we asked Marlon about the break coming up,
Yeah.
and how Union first team players are going to leave,
because there's gonna be first team players missing,
and then we got CJ and Dave Vasquez.
You got second team players missing, so there's going to have to, of course, some of the Union 2 players that are on first team contracts, they might need to play up. Meanwhile, Union 2, they're gonna be missing some people too, so it's going to be interesting.
So here's what Marlon and credit to, I think it was Jose asked this question.
There's things like the CBA and mandatory time off. The international break's going to deplete them a little bit in their training week. So we do talk on a daily basis. The plan for Thursday is not quite set in stone, and nothing's ever really set in stone until match day anyway, as far as I'm concerned. But this will be certainly a very difficult management for us over this international break, and Cincinnati's coming off of a bye week, so they're going to be a little bit fresher than we will. But we'll figure it out, and we'll put a team out in the field that will compete.
So no, that's a really good question. He's talking about, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I mean, and so again, shout out to Jose for letting Jillian and us, giving us that question. I thought that was an excellent question. I thought he gave a great answer. He mentioned Cincinnati game and how they got to go there. They got who they got? They got Mint City coming up, and it's just going to be a tough time. And him and Jim communicating and trying to work through this summer.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
And then finally, you got to talk to Makanya.
Yeah. So center back Owethu Makanya, he hasn't actually played in a first team game yet. He's been on the bench.
Right.
So, but he's been consistently playing with Union 2, paired up most of the time with Neil Pierre. So we asked him a bit about how that pairing was, and also talked about how he would feel playing in back three. That opportunity might be coming, with Jim having mentioned that. So anyway, we have a clip with that.
Yeah, so the clip we're going to show, I don't have the clip where we're talking about the pairing. The clip I'm showing is about playing three in the back.
Yeah.
Jim mentioned formation changes for the next couple weeks. If he continues to use the back three, do you feel comfortable with that?
Yeah, I'm very comfortable. I'm very confident, and I'm ready. Once I get the opportunity, I have to use it.
Yeah. So
if you're not on YouTube, when you ask that question, he's all like, "Yep, yep, yep," and then he just opens up and he just radiates. He's like, "Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah, you could
put me in. Put me in."
Yeah, it's like, put me in, coach. Yeah, he's chomping at the bit, I think, to get that opportunity. And honestly, I hope he does get the opportunity. Obviously, it's tough because you've got Jack Elliott, Jacob Lessons, Damian Lowe in front of you. Now, of course, we're going to be missing Damian Lowe. And well, we haven't heard anything about that red card.
Probably won't hear about that until later this week. I mean, unless somebody has the tea.
Yeah. So, I mean, at this point, looks like we're missing Jack Elliott for the Miami game.
Yep.
So, yeah, things could be a little interesting. And plus, we're missing other players coming up. So he might get his opportunity. And I think he's played decently with Union too. It's a whole other thing playing with the first team, especially if you're let's say you get thrown into the fire having to play against Miami.
So here's the thing I'm going to say about Makanya. Like, you see the talent, why they gave him a U22.
Yeah.
Is it concerning that he's not making appearances? Sure, you can say that. He is raw. I mean, there will be plays where, okay, that's a first team center back. And then there's plays where you're like, okay, you get beaten, then your recovery skills make up for it. Okay, great. It's not always going to make like him against Suarez. Oh,
yeah. Just don't get starstruck like some of the Union players did last year in Leagues Cup.
I mean, I like him. I think he has a good mindset. I think he has a good, but again, time's going to tell, will he stick with the first team? And so it's interesting. So anyway, final thoughts on the game.
I thought it was fun. Again, after the previous night of frustration, it was refreshing to have a win such as that.
Right. And so
and another thing, I mean, it's just definitely a different experience covering Union 2 from up in the press box, and then the post-game part. It's kind of nice not having screaming children in the background when you're interviewing the players. As cute as the players' kids are, okay, it
can be a little much.
In the mix zone, it can be a lot of noise. So
anyway, breaking news, you're going to be there tomorrow night against the big game.
Well, depending on when you're listening to this. Okay, I will be there Thursday night at the Union 2 game versus Cincinnati, who, by the way, is the only team that has beaten Union 2 when they were on the road. So
It's gonna be a good game.
yeah, in fact, yeah, this will be the first time I'm there without you, Kyle.
You'll be fine.
Oh, I know.
You've learned from some of the best that do not include me.
Well, and yeah, so when we were at the game on Sunday, we even told Nick, we're like, oh, I'm not sure we'll be able to make that, but I did work some things out and I'm excited to go. It's a great way to end the day for me. I think it's my last day of school. So I'm gonna kick off summer break with taking in the Union 2, and I'm so excited.
So yeah. So wrapping up here. It's been a fun episode. We have some guests lined up. In fact, we had an interview at the time you're hearing this the night before
Yeah, so we
with
have one coming
a
up.
good friend of ours. That'll be coming out this weekend, and we got a couple other people on the burner coming up. And just a programming note, we'll have some episodes leading up to the Inter Miami game. The week of the Cincinnati Wednesday game, we will be on vacation for my 45th birthday. We will be covering a Union player that is on loan in Colorado Springs.
Yep.
We'll be at the game. Matt Rial will be playing Las Vegas Lights.
Yeah, we're gonna be out in the land of Bryce Harper and Bryson Stott.
Yes,
Yeah.
so yes, one of my original podcasts that, my favorite place away from home.
Yes.
Yes.
And yeah, so we're out there celebrating our anniversary and everything.
So it'll be fun. So we'll be out in Las Vegas. We'll probably watch the Wednesday game somewhere in the casino.
We'll watch it somewhere. We'll make
So there will be commentary during the game.
there will be.
It will be interesting, depending, that we'll see. But anyway, also on the 15th, there will be a tie-dye event at the Sons of Ben.
Yeah.
So if you haven't gotten your t-shirt yet, please do. This is an awesome thing. We had so much fun last year. I love tie-dyes.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what we're gonna do with ours because I don't want to do a tie-dye and then have it sit in the trunk.
Right. We're gonna have to figure something out.
So if anybody could help us out, that'd be great. If not, we'll figure it out on our own.
Yep.
But love to support that event. So yeah, if you're in the game on the 15th, come by, say hi. But yeah, we got some guests coming up, so stay tuned. And that's all for this episode of the One Team We Agree On.
Yeah, make sure to subscribe and like and follow us on our various socials. And we love hearing from you. So please keep commenting. And if you have any ideas for us, please share them. So love the feedback and love hearing from you. And
yeah. So until next time, I'm Kyle.
I'm Jillian.
See you at the game.